Hello. Have you ever set one of these up? It's a domino rally. I'll bet you've seen probably some of those really amazing ones where they knock a domino down and then another one and another one and another one, and it goes on for ages. Well, I am only going to do just this little number, and let's see if I can knock the first one down. I'll tell you what, let's make it interesting. Let's put one up like that and one up like that, and the last one there. Let's see, if I knock the first one, will it manage to knock all the others down? Let's have a look. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. You ever done that? Hopefully you might even have been able to watch the scientist talking about a little tiny domino about this size, and how a little tiny domino that size, if it knocks down a domino 1.5 times its size, then the next domino is 1.5 times that size, and the next one after that is 1.5 times that size. By the time it gets to 29 dominoes, that little tiny domino would have started a reaction like this that could knock down a domino the size of the Empire State Building. Wow! So, before I explain about dominoes having something to do with the story about Jesus, I want you to use your imagination. Well, you might have to use your imagination to find out how dominoes have something to do with the story about Jesus, but this is a different bit of your imagination. I want you to imagine that you've been pestering and pestering and pestering away for a pet. You want a puppy or a kitten or a rabbit or simply a goldfish. And finally, after the pestering and pestering and pestering, you get told, okay, we're going to get a puppy, a kitten, a rabbit or a goldfish. What happens next? Do you keep that news to yourself? Do you just sit in your house thinking, oh, I'm going to get a new pet? Of course not. You go out and you tell your friends. You say, oh, guess what? I'm going to get a new puppy, kitten, goldfish, rabbit. I'm so excited. Now, use your imagination to think what happens next. The little puppy, kitten, goldfish, rabbit. Not all of them, just one of those in each house. So one of those pets arrives in the house. What do? Do you keep that pet just to yourself? Do you just keep it in the house and never let anybody else see it? Of course not. You're desperate to go and share it and show it to your friends, aren't you? You can imagine they all come round to play with the puppy kitten. Maybe not the goldfish because they're in the goldfish bowl. What are you going to do? But they'll come and see it. And the rabbit. Everybody wants to see a rabbit. They're gorgeous. And then, maybe, just maybe, one of your friends goes home to his or her house and says to his or her parents, I would really like a puppy, a kitten, a goldfish, or a rabbit. That sometimes happens. And then they say, because so-and-so got one, so can't I have one as well? That's that bit of your imagination. Just you remember that bit when I tell you the next bit of the story about Jesus. Now, the next bit of the story about Jesus starts just after the last bit of the story that I told you last week. Do you remember Jesus appeared to all the people in the locked room so that they could see that he was a real person? He wasn't a ghost. He stood with them. He even ate something just to show that he definitely wasn't a ghost. And then he said that he wasn't going to stay in that room. He went away, but he said to his 11 best friends, I want you to meet me at Galilee. Now, there should have been 12 best friends, but I expect you remember that one friend had betrayed Jesus, Judas, and he wasn't coming. But the other 11 made their way to Galilee. And there was Jesus, just as he promised, waiting for them. And so Jesus spoke with them round at Galilee and told them a lot about himself again. And then he told them something really important. Well, he didn't just tell them something important. He gave them something important to do. He didn't even just give them something important to do. He commanded them to do something. He gave them what the Bible calls the Great Commission. Now, commission is just a sort of posh name for a command, for telling somebody you must do this. And it's only given by someone who has authority. And Jesus had the authority to tell these 11 people to do this thing. What was this thing that he asked them to do, told them to do, commanded them to do? Well, it was simple in a way, just like when you get the good news about a puppy. Jesus said, I want you to spread the good news about God's rescue plan. I want you to go out all over the world and tell people about me, about how I have died for everyone so that they don't have to die. I've taken everyone's sins so they will always be forgiven. I want you to tell people the best news of all. And then I want them to know how to follow me, how to be good in this world, how to try and do good in this world, how to love one another in this world, just like I have loved everyone. And that's what they were going to have to do. Now, I said that sounds simple, but it wasn't simple. You see, when those 11 people went out, just like Jesus, they were going to turn the world upside down. And there are always people who don't want the world turned upside down. Oh no, they want to keep it just the way it is, thank you very much. And if they hear someone preaching good news like those 11 disciples were going to, just like they had wanted to destroy Jesus, there would be people who wanted to destroy the 11 disciples. So there are times when they were going to be very lonely. There were times when they were going to be in great danger. And there were times when they were going to be very afraid. And although they were going to be perhaps sometimes lonely, the lovely second part of the Great Commission is what Jesus said next. Once he had said, go out into the world and make more and more disciples, he said, and I will be with you every step of the way, always and forever. I will be with you till the end of time. I will never leave you. Now, the Bible tells us the story of those 11 disciples. Imagine Jesus standing in front of those 11 disciples. Can you see him telling those men what they had to do? Well, I want you to use your imagination to see Jesus not looking at those 11 disciples, because he's turning round and he's looking directly at you and me. You see, Jesus' Great Commission is for everyone. We can all go out and be Jesus' disciples and make new disciples. Now you might think, I'm one small person, what can I do? I can't turn the world upside down. I can't change anything. Remember that little tiny domino that knocked down a domino that was only 1.5 times bigger than itself? And that went on and on and on. You imagine if you tell someone about Jesus and show them Jesus' love, and then they go and tell 2 more people, and those 2 more people tell 2 more people each. It won't take long before Jesus' love and his message is spread and spread and spread. And you and I may be that tiny part, but we can make a chain reaction like those dominoes that goes all round the world. Now I'm going to tell you a story about a disciple of Jesus. Just an ordinary girl. Her name is Isabella. Isabella plays the violin. She's been taking lessons for a long time. And she is a disciple of Jesus. She and her dad visit a nursing home in her community every week. Isabella takes her violin and plays for the older people who live there. The people love it when Isabella comes to visit. Several weeks ago, she noticed that one woman seemed very sad. Isabella prayed, asking God to use her to help the woman. Isabella now sits down and talks to the woman every week, and the woman isn't sad, not anymore. That's quite a simple thing, isn't it? You see, we might think disciples have to be, very big, exciting, doing lots and lots of things. But Isabella is doing a very simple thing. She's just sitting down beside a sad and alone old lady and showing her love. That's what you can do. That's what I can do. Small things, but they can turn someone's world upside down. You ever think about that for next week? God bless. Bye.